Hi, welcome to the ADORNit online class. I'm Georgiana Hall, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this darling fabric wrap. It's so fun and unique, and it's really quick and easy to make, so let's go ahead and get started. It's a kit that you can purchase at Barnes & Noble that will come with the fabric and the wood gallery wrap included, or it's also in our Capri pattern book, so you can find the instructions there as well. So we're going to need to gather some supplies first. You're going to need your kit, and probably a rotary cutter or some scissors will work for this project. I use this quick craft stapler. It's really convenient and easy to use, but if you don't have one of these, don't worry, glue will work. You'll want to get some tacky glue or some hot glue. I like this original tacky glue. It also comes in quick dry, which is a really great thing for this project. And probably an X-Acto knife, and then of course your basic sewing supplies is what you're going to need. Okay, so you're going to pull out your fabric scraps. They're about 6.5 inches, and you're just going to want to glance at them and make sure they're about square. If not, just kind of take your rotary cutter and trim them up a little bit. Mine look great, and I also took an iron and ironed them down a little bit because there were some creases in it. And so we're going to put the fabric out of how we are going to sew it together. So I'm laying it out here. This burlap cream, we're going to want in opposite ends. And so just like that, I have the chevron up here and the tiny check down here. Now we're going to put those right sides together. And what that means is there's a right side and a wrong side to your fabric. The right side is the side that's more vibrant in color. And so I have my right sides all facing up here. I'm just going to flip this burlap over onto that, which now is the wrong side. So that means the right sides are together. And I'm going to do the same with the top. And I'm going to put my right sides together on that as well. Okay, now we're going to take it to the sewing machine, and we're going to sew 1/4 inch on each side. Okay, now that we have that done, you'll see I have my seam right here, and I am going to open those up to see where I have them, and I want to press my seams to the side. I'm going to press this top seam to the right and this bottom seam to the left. So you're going to take your iron and you're going to press this side to the right and this side to the left. Then we're going to take it back over to the sewing machine. You're going to gather each side and you're going to put them right sides together again, and you're going to want to match up this center seam right there so that your seams match up. And so I just, if you can see right there, I've matched that up, and now I know where to start sewing, and I'm going to go ahead and sew right down this middle section right there, 1/4 inch seam. So let's take that to the sewing machine. All right, now we're back and we have that seam right down the middle, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to press that with our iron. It's always good to press your sewing projects. And we're going to open it up, and there we have our background fabric for the fabric wrap. If there's any extra threads, you can go ahead and trim those. Okay, we're going to take our yellow felt and we're going to cut that down into rectangles. We're going to do 11 of them, 2.5 by 2 inches, and then we're going to take our white felt and we're going to cut that into 9 rectangles, which are 1 3/4 by 1.5. Okay, so I have all my rectangles cut. Now we're going to take our scissors and we're going to trim off the edges to create the flower petals in a rounded manner. And my quick and easy tip for that is I like to fold it in half and just quickly round out those corners so that both edges are even. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to keep doing that for all your yellows, and then you're also going to do it for your whites. And you're trimming the longer end on both of these so that you have a long petal. The short end is where we're going to fold them. So just like that. So go ahead and cut all of those into your rounded tops. Okay, so now that we have our edges rounded, we're going to take our petals, and on the side with the 290-degree angles, we're going to run our tacky glue or our hot glue just along the edge like that. And then you're going to fold it in and meet your two edges right like that. And it kind of makes a fun flower petal. You can just keep your finger there till the glue dries. And the other tip is that you can take, see this white one, I had a little bit harder time getting those edges to stay for me. So I gathered my pins and I took those two edges and then I ran my sewing pin through it to kind of hold it while it was drying. So you can do that as well. The other thing that you can do is if you don't want to do the glue is you can run them through your sewing machine. Just fold those two edges in and run them through the sewing machine too. So that's another tip. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to do that with all of your flower petals. Okay, so now that you have all your flower petals glued, you're going to take and get your 4x4 piece of felt, and you're just going to, I just kind of hand cut the corners of mine to create a circle effect. So I just trimmed the edges on that piece of felt. That's going to be our base for our flower. And then you're going to take your petals and you're going to first start with your yellow petals, and you're going to take and you're going to line them all the way up around the diameter of that circle. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to adhere those down. Once you have all your yellow around the diameter of that circle, then you're going to go ahead with your white and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put your glue down and you're going to glue all your white flowers around the diameter so it creates the inner ring of that flower. So now all we have left is our button. So you're going to get the wood base of the button and the printed flower that come in your kit. And I just use some glue to tack that down and then put it onto the wood. And then glue your piece of paper down and let that dry. So now I have it glued down. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm just going to poke through this back where those holes are for the button, and then I'm going to cut out that paper right there to create my buttonholes. Or if you don't want to make it a button, just go ahead and glue it right onto that felt as a fun centerpiece too. So you have two options. If you do it as a button, you'll need to go ahead and sew that into the middle of the flower once you have it ready to go. So you can see right there, this one we just glued on, and then this one would be an example of putting your button there and then sewing it onto the flower. So those are two different fun options to go ahead and do that. So now that we have that done, we're going to grab our base and our fabric right here that we pieced together, that patch, and then we're going to take your flower and you're going to put it in the center of that and use where you pieced it right there as your mark for the center. And go ahead and glue that on. I glued mine. You can go back and use your sewing machine and you can tack it down too for extra hold if you want to use your sewing machine. Once that's done, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stretch that on. So I take and I just lay mine face down onto my work surface, and I make sure again that you know that that's the center of your project, and so I just put it over there, make sure it's lined up the way I like it, and then I pull the fabric up. And this is where I use that stapler. So I pull up an edge right here and staple that down, and then again on the next side. Then we're going to do these other sides. Do the same thing, pull them up and add a staple. Just like that. Now you're going to be left with these funny corners right here. What we're going to do is we're just going to fold them in. So what I do is I grab this piece right here and I fold that in, and then I take this upper piece right here and I fold that up to match along the edge of that wood piece right there to create a nice crease. And then I just hold it and then take my staple gun again. And this is where you could use glue instead of the staple gun if you don't have access to that. And so I'll show you one more time on this edge. So I take it and I fold that in on the inside, and I take my outside and pull it up to match the corner of that wood wrap. And then put it back down on my work surface to put a staple in. And there you have it. You're done. Isn't that so fun and quick and easy? So thank you so much for joining us, and we'd love for you to share your projects on our Facebook page and also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day.